So
Oh,
I'm sure there's
goodness.
probably something to do with it.
Uh, all right, we are live. Hello, Facebook, YouTube, and any Instagram fam that has joined us. I apologize. We have had a night trying to get on here and get live. We have had technical issues. I was a
Bound.
couple of minutes sending the link to Eddie, and then when I did get it sent to him, he was not getting signed on. It was giving him all kinds of troubles. And then when we got his end fixed up, my end went crazy. I no longer had the live button. So we had to fix all that. But we made it and we are here. So, everybody, welcome Eddie Tabit of the Eddie T Band. And we are actually, Eddie is the first one to kick off a series of artists that I have coming from the same location. Um, Now, is it under Nashville Entertainment or what is the name under that you
Yeah,
work for Jill?
Nashville Entertainment Weekly Records.
Okay,
Oh,
Nashville Entertainment Weekly Records. I wanted to say that
right.
correct. And I am not even going to attempt to say Jill's last name.
Santa
But
Bonnet.
Santa Benez. That,
Right.
sorry, Jill, if I didn't say it right. But she is absolutely wonderful. She reached out to me about having her artists come on and do these. And she's just absolutely fantastic. So, y'all be sure to check out Nashville Entertainment. They have several entities of Nashville Entertainment where they do all sorts of things. Obviously, she has a record company. She has the Nashville Entertainment that she does with TJ. They have a TV show on. They have broadcast on Facebook. They're on Instagram. They're everywhere. So y'all be sure to check out Nashville Entertainment. So this is going to kick off a series I think I have about 3 weeks where I have her artist at least twice a week. So
Right.
that's going to be fun. I'm really looking forward to all of that. Um, so Eddie is the one kicking that off. Yay.
Yay.
Yeah, he gets to kick off the big day. Though he was not comfortable doing the IG takeover today, that was a foreign platform to him. But I think you ended up sending me something anyway that I posted.
Right.
I
I want I definitely want to do it in the future. Definitely.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get him taught up on IG, how to do the takeovers, and he's gonna do one before long for us. So we're gonna get him taught up on Instagram and how to do the takeovers. But I think Jill posted a couple of things today, and Eddie sent me something that I posted. So it's all good. It always works out. So no problem. We have him here for the interview, and that's what counts. That's the big
Right.
thing. We're going to learn a little bit about you, hear some of your music.
All
So,
right.
where is it that you come from, Eddie? Where are you located at?
I am in a small town outside of Flint, Michigan. Probably
Okay.
about 6 miles east of Flint. It's called Davison, Michigan. A small
Okay.
little town. And my band consists of Marty Worth on drums. He's also from Davison. Me and him went to school together. And then our
Oh, that's
guitar
cool.
player Dawson, he was originally from California, and then he's bounced all over. He's lived in New York, Tennessee, and then ended up here in Michigan. So yeah,
Oh, that's
that's about
cool.
it. And two guys from a small town and a guy from California.
All right. Well, that works. And are they with you tonight?
No, they couldn't be with
No.
me.
Okay.
I keep bugging them that they need to get over here. But we're in our recording studio right now, and I keep telling them to get over here to get in on some of these interviews because I always seem to be the lone soldier. But that's all right.
Yeah, that would be awesome. If you can
Right,
work that out,
right,
I'd love to have you guys on together as a band. That'd be great.
absolutely. Right, right. I'll get right now. Rick's in Pennsylvania. doing some stuff at his mom's house and stuff, you know, since the pandemic and everything. We haven't really played much, and we took
Yeah.
advantage of not playing to get back in the studio. So it was some needed personal time for him to get back to the family for a while. So, you know, but we're going to get back together. We're going to regroup, and we're going to be doing a new record here soon. So that's a lot of the reason. I'm actually producing a couple other artists right now. So I've been living in this cave for the past 2 months, but it's fun. It's a cool day
Awesome.
job.
Well, we'll talk about that some more in just a little bit for sure. But let's go ahead and hear something from you. What do you want to start us out with? Tell us about the song.
This was an experiment. Me and a couple of buddies were writing with guitars, and we come up with a crazy idea to see how many song titles we could put in a chorus. So this is a song called Homage. It pays homage to all the greats before us. So there's let's just say there's a Justin Moore song, a Luke Bryant song, some other there. All the whole chorus is song titles. So for those of you out there who are country fans and know your country, you should know, you know, who's all it. These are all names of songs. They're all names of songs.
All right.
So here we go. This one's called Homage.
All right.
Out on these backcountry roads, flipping through my FM dial, through these cornfield roads where nobody knows. Country music drives me wild. Love them songs about pickup trucks, Dixie cups, partying all night long. Fine piece of real estate with a Georgia plate to be a girl in a country song. We're cranking, she's country, doing the honky tonk stomp out in the backwards where she shakes it for me. I'll be down by the riverbank, baiting the hook with Bob Ritchie, just smoking some weed. Meet me in the little big town, jamming to some Zac Brown. Must be 100 degrees. I'm sitting here at the Florida-Georgia line with my radio in a country state of mind. We got Miranda at the baggage claim, and Blake's with the neon light. Kenny's in Mexico with all his bros, all American kids just right. We're cranking, she's country, doing the honky tonk stomp out in the backwards where she shakes it for me. I'll be down by the riverbank, baiting the hook with Bob Ritchie, just smoking some weed. Meet me in the little big town, jamming to some Zac Brown. Must be 100 degrees. I'm just sitting here at the Florida-Georgia line with my radio in a country state of mind. In a country state of mind. Out on these backcountry roads, flipping through my FM dial, through these cornfield roads where nobody knows. Country music drives me wild. We're cranking, she's country, doing the honky tonk stomp out in the backwards where she shakes it for me. I'll be down by the riverbank, baiting the hook with Bob Ritchie, just smoking some weed. Meet me in the little big town, jamming to some Zac Brown. Must be 100 degrees. I'm just sitting here at the Florida Georgia line with my radio in a country state of mind. In a country state of mind. Ow. So, little rocker one there.
All right. That was cool. All right. I think I actually got more. So I wasn't ignoring you when I had my head down. I was writing and trying to listen. I think I got more artist names than I did song titles.
Well, you had She's Country, which is Jason Aldean, Honky Tonk Stomp, which is Brooks and Dunn. I
got that one.
Baiting a Hook, which is Justin Moore. Riverbank, which is
I missed that one, but I got Backwoods.
Backwoods is Justin Moore. Riverbank is Brad Paisley, and then we added the line about Kid Rock. So, and then the end line is just Florida Georgia lines. It's just playing on their name, you know. Yeah. And then the last song is A Country State of Mind, which is Hank Williams Jr.
Yeah, so, I got that one.
Yeah.
Well, didn't you have Luke's "Shake It for Me" in there?
Yep, "Shake It for Me."
Yep, I had that, and so then I got Little Big Town, Zac Brown, Florida Georgia Line, Miranda
Those
Blake,
are all the names,
and Bob.
And then the rest of it, song titles, right?
Yeah. All right, I did pretty good on that then. Not too bad.
You got me a record deal. It worked.
yeah, exactly.
That's the song that got me my deal. So so it worked.
All right. Well, yeah, that was pretty cool. I like that. Yeah, that's definitely interesting. All right, let's talk about what you've been doing during COVID. Then you said you've been producing some other people.
Yep. I've been producing a band called Fire Creek. They're a rock/country band, a country artist named James Ashley and Sonny Fernall. We had a couple number ones on some local charts with him. So score one for us in the studio. But I've been busy. I got a small studio like the ones in Nashville, and I cater to the singer-songwriters who can't get their tracks done, you know, because they don't have a drummer or bass player or nothing. So we offer that service where we'll do the drum tracks for you, we'll do the bass tracks for you, stuff like that. So it's been it's nice to have music to do during, you know, the pandemic and what's going on.
Oh yeah, since you can't get out and play normal. Now I know a lot of artists that had like tours planned either last spring or over the summer. Did you have a tour to get canceled as well?
Well, yeah, just a local. Well, it's like a regional tour between Michigan, Indiana, Ohio, stuff like that. We had some festivals that were booked that got canceled. We actually did 3 shows this year. We did 3 private shows at different friends' houses and stuff like that, and so that was fun. You know, it was kind of cool to get back to the days of, you know, playing in the backyard or the garage or something. And so we had a lot of fun. You know, we knew we were going to plan on doing a record eventually. So, you know, with our guitar player, you know, being in Pennsylvania right now, me and the drummer were kind of like, you know, let's get prepared to start doing let's not book any more shows. We wanted to take the winter off so we could get, you know, re-queued back up and stuff. But I miss playing. I miss I know I miss it just like everybody else does. You know, it's these
Yeah.
virtual concerts. The online concerts are cool, but there's nothing like being, you know, in front of an audience, and there's nothing like an audience being in front of a live band. So I
Absolutely.
miss
And
it.
that's
I
been,
can't wait for it to come back.
yeah, that's been the general consensus with everybody. I mean, the artists are loving the fact that they get to do these online events, and
Right,
us watching them, we're very much enjoying it. But yeah, there's nothing
right,
like a live event. But I think the
right.
good
And
thing about the more interviews that have been being done and the more online events that have been being done, it's giving the fans a chance to get to know their favorite artist and
right,
learn about them just a little bit more than I think they would have had we not been in this situation. So there's, I
right.
mean, there's,
Yeah, there's positives to it because I mean, and it's also forcing artists to do something out of the norm that they don't normally, you know, like somebody who's not used to giving interviews, you know,
right.
and suddenly, you know, that's helping, you know, reach a new audience and get, like you said, getting them seen, and you know, and it's and a lot of the online concerts have been really cool with the way people have been getting creative with editing software, and you know, doing 3 and 4 part harmonies of themselves in different blocks and stuff. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really cool. And, you know,
Yeah.
and then the live acoustic shows are really cool too. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely getting artists seen and getting them heard. So that's definitely the benefit of what's going on. And like I said, with nobody being able to play, uh, when in history have you been able to be an artist and there's no competition because nobody can play, nobody else
Yeah.
is doing anything, you know? So it's like, you know,
No.
the online is the, because I like a good healthy competition between a band that's good and we'll do a show together, and it's not to win against the other band, it's to win over their audience. So that's what I feel
Right.
is going on, you know what I mean, is to
Yeah.
artists are being able to reach out to other artists audiences and back and forth. So it's a really
Oh
neat
yeah.
thing.
And I really like the online collaborations that are going on. Like, you know, one artist will be doing a well, it's no secret that I work for Ryan Clark. And so he'll go on and he has Monday night shows where he does what he calls RC chill sessions. And it's a 30-minute
Right,
live event where he's playing. But every other Monday, he'll invite an artist on as a guest to have them
right,
play, talk to them, get to know them a little bit. So it's a crossover of two
right,
artists where you're crossing over your audiences and potentially
right.
introducing your audience to a completely different artist that maybe they're not familiar with.
Well, and
So I've
we're
really
doing that
enjoyed
with
watching
recording.
that.
Right. And we're doing that with recording too. We did a song a while back with uh an artist, Sophie Noel, and
Hmm.
she lives in Florida, and I recorded a song. I talked to her on a podcast. Me and her ended up being on a podcast together. I heard her voice and I'm like, man, I gotta do this duet with this girl. So I had this song called The Only One, and I just messaged her and said, would you be interested in doing the song? And so I ended up recording it here and then sending her the tracks, and then she recorded it at her house and then sent them back. And then I mixed it down and we released it. And we ended up winning Duo of the Year on one of the radio stations. And it was a cross country collaborative. We had never even met face to face. We hadn't even talked on the phone. We only talked on Twitter.
Oh,
And she
wow.
just sent me her, and yeah, she just sent me her information. And so the funny thing is we just did another song called Reflection, and we'll be debuting it on Facebook tonight at midnight. And
Ah,
it's another cross country collaborative. I wrote it here, recorded it here, sent it to her. She recorded her tracks in Florida and then sent them back to me. And she did the music video in Florida and I did my parts here. So the song and the
Wow.
music video were both done cross country. It's pretty cool.
That's
Me and her were never
crazy.
in the room. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's great. And you
yeah.
know, a
So it's
lot of
kind of
people
neat.
don't realize that that kind of thing is done. And
Oh yeah.
they think that you're together in the same room recording the song
Right.
or together recording the video, where, you know, different pieces can actually be recorded completely separate. Bless you. Um,
Right.
so yeah, that's so neat that that's being
Yeah.
done.
Right. It's neat because me and her have only hung out one time. We did a showcase in Nashville together, and
Yeah.
my band played with her band, and she came up and did, and the band surprised her. She didn't know it, but we ended up learning her originals. So she thought she was just going to come up and play acoustic and open for us, and then me and her were going to do our song, and then my band was going to play the rest of the night. And we shocked her and ended up learning her originals too. So when she played, we were behind her, and it was great. But that's the only time that me and her have ever met face to face. Her and her family come
Wow.
over to our house. We were renting in Nashville for the weekend, and we hung out with her family, and it was great. But here we are back to not talking to each other except for messaging each other on Twitter and Messenger, and we did another one. So yeah, so anybody
Yeah.
out there, it'll be debuting tonight on Facebook at midnight.
Okay, on your channel or on Nashville?
On my channel, on the Eddie T Band.
Okay,
You can yep, you can find the
I
Eddie
stay
T
up
Band
late,
on
so I'm gonna
YouTube.
catch that.
Right.
Okay, the Eddie T Band at midnight. And what is her name again?
Her name is Sophie Noel.
Sophie Noel. And what's the name of the song?
It's called Reflection. We actually have a promo commercial video that's out on our page right now. You can find that too. So
Okay, I'm gonna type that in
the
the
song,
comments, so if people want to go watch it, they can.
awesome. Yeah, the song was written after 9/11, and the song's basically about there was a guy who lost his wife in the trade center, and he didn't know what happened to her, and he ended up finding a picture of her later on social media, that someone took of her jumping with a coworker, and he never knew if she died alone or if she, what happened. And he said, you would think it would tear me up to find the picture, but it gave him closure that he knew that she made the decision not to get into all that. But that's what the basis of the song, that's what it was written after, and that's what the video is about. So
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
it's a pretty interesting story. I mean, I'm not a real, political person or anything like that, but it was just an amazing story about how he found out what happened to her later on after it happened, and
Yeah.
it gave him closure. I just thought that was an amazing story, so we ended up writing about it. So that's what it's about.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and that sounds to me like I'm definitely going to catch that at midnight. And now is that
Yeah, I hope
midnight
so.
Central Time?
Eastern.
Eastern Time. Okay. Are you Eastern where
Eastern.
you're at or Central? You're Eastern.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
in Michigan.
Okay. These
Yeah,
time zones confuse me so much because I interview all
I
across
know.
the country. So I always have to ask
Right.
what time zone people are in, but I'm Eastern as well. So,
Right.
yeah, I'm always up at midnight. So I'll definitely catch that. And because I'm interested to see that now that you've explained a little bit, the back part of the story, I definitely want to see that
Well,
because I'm definitely old enough, way old enough
right.
to remember where and what I was doing on 9/11.
Right. Right.
And
Yeah,
that's
well,
so
that's and us releasing it on at
on
midnight on the
9/11.
anniversary.
Yeah,
So right.
that's
Yeah.
actually that's really special. I think that makes it really special. So what are we going
Right.
at now? 18 years?
Yeah. 19 years.
Yeah, okay, 19 years.
Yeah, 2000.
Yeah,
Yeah.
19 years because I was pregnant with my youngest son when that happened. Um, so yeah, yeah. Wow, and he's
Getting ready
18.
to
So yeah.
start a new job. I was getting ready to start a new job. I was on my way into work, and when it happened, I remember it like it was 2 minutes ago.
Oh yes, me too. Yeah, it was crazy. I was just sitting at home. Um, I
Right.
was in nursing school at the time, and I wasn't didn't have class until that afternoon. So I was just sitting there, and one of my friends called me, and she was in a panic. And she was like, "Have you seen the news?" And I'm like, "No, why?" And she's like, "Turn your TV on now." And
Right.
I did, and I was actually watching TV when the second plane hit.
Right.
So, I mean, to
Well,
see that on the news was
right.
one thing. I can't imagine being there.
Right. And the thing of it was, is I found myself going outside and looking up in the sky because it was like
Yeah.
the two planes hit, and then they announced that the one hit in the Pentagon, and then the next one they're going down in Pennsylvania, and I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah.
And and it was a beautiful day. That was the thing with the
Yeah.
contrast of it. It was a gorgeous day outside, and
Yep.
nobody should forget what happened. I mean, like like I said, I'm not preaching about it, but we
Oh
shouldn't
no,
forget
I'm
what
I'm with
happened.
you right there.
You know? And that's
I
why,
think that's
part of me, I was afraid to, I was afraid to release the video. I was afraid how people, because we don't show anything. I don't think it's right for me to do a music video and show the plane hitting the tower. So we did it classy. We kept it to a storyline and kept it classy. I'm looking forward for everybody to see it. But it's like it's so it's I it's been a long time coming. It's 20 years in the making. I mean, I wrote the song right after
yeah.
9/11, and so
Yeah.
to see it finally come to life is amazing. And Sophie did such an amazing job singing on it. I mean, I always tell her she Kelly Clarksoned it, because she just put the right amount. She just put the right amount in there, So I'm looking
Yeah.
forward for everybody.
Are you a little bit nervous about it with people's reactions?
Right. I am. I mean, with everything going on in the world today, and then I see people put posts up about it, and you look down in the corner and you're seeing like 1 and 2 likes. You know what I mean? And it's like, are people straying away from it? Are they afraid to talk about it? And because like I said, I don't express my political views online. I don't do any of
Yeah.
that. I think you
Mhm.
should, express it however you want. I don't get involved in it, and
Yeah.
I pay attention to what's going on. I'm informed, but I don't
There are
spread it
certain
out
things
there.
we don't talk about online. Yep, I get you. I'm with you 100%.
And the thing
But I
is, this
also,
video. Go ahead.
oh, I'm sorry. But I also agree with you that it's just a day that we should not forget.
Right.
And I I have 2 reasons not to forget that day. That day is also my mother's birthday, and she passed away last year.
I'm sorry.
But after 9/11, she hated to celebrate her birthday on that day. Not
Right.
because it like dampened her birthday, but she just felt like that
Right.
day belonged to all the victims of
Right.
that day and all the heroes of that
Right.
day.
And what am I nervous? Yeah, I'm nervous because I know there's going to be people out there that are going to love it. And I don't know. I don't see if there's anybody that's going to absolutely hate it because we didn't get really heavy into it.
Yeah. Yeah.
We did do the storyline, but I hope everybody enjoys the song because the song can be interpreted 5 different ways. It could be a positive song, it could be a tragedy song, it could be an uplifting song. It's just one of them songs. It's basically saying that he remembers exactly the way she looked, the way she sounded, the way she smelled, that morning when she
Yeah.
went into work. And that's basically that's what I'm saying in the song is I can see you standing there. I know all the things you said that I'll never forget. That's the chorus.
Oh, that's giving
You
me
know,
chills.
right. And in my mind, the reflection, it remains, and I know I'll never be the same, and I'll always love you.
Oh
So
my
it's
gosh,
one of
Eddie.
them. And when we show the World Trade Center in the video, we show it intact. I'm not showing it on fire. I'm showing it intact.
Yeah.
So it's, I hope it, you know, I hope it makes people, I mean, we even relived the whole morning of 9/11 in the beginning of the video. So, I mean, you want to talk about, you know, going on YouTube and looking up the morning of 9/11, you know, just so you can use it, you know, so. But
Yeah.
I think it's I think it's gonna have a positive impact, and I want people to understand, you know, that don't know what happened that day, and that
Yeah.
all this stuff that's going on, and all the stuff that's going on today just needs to stop. You know, I
Yeah.
mean, the world came together that day, you know, and so
Absolutely.
we're trying. The video is basically a story of one man, just one life amongst the 3,000 or so that died that day. So
Yeah.
it's just a story of one man's story among many, basically.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. Mm. All right, you're getting me emotional with
Didn't know
this
I was
because
going to make you cry.
well, I mean, at first, you know, I got chills going up my arms and legs thinking about it and your words, your lyrics. And oh yeah, I'll probably cry like a baby watching the video tonight.
Well, I
But
hope
it's just
everybody you know, enjoys it.
in a positive way. I mean, you weren't making me cry because I was like, you know, upset or
Right.
anything. In a
Right.
positive way. But, you know, when I reflect on that day, it does upset me. And it
Right.
does just pull at your heartstrings and get your emotions because, you know, we're so much, well, I am so much
Right.
older than, you know, the majority of the up and comings in Nashville right now. And,
Right.
you know, they were very little when this happened. Or,
Right.
you know, even my youngest son wasn't born, so he doesn't remember, he doesn't know anything about it, just what he's seen on TV. And I don't
Right.
think unless you were a part of that day somehow, whether you watched
Right.
it on TV, listened on the radio, or were there and old
Right.
enough to understand it, I don't think you feel it right here like we do.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and
Well,
you
like,
think the babies and the children of that day that may have lost a mom or dad or both, they're, you know, they're young adults right now.
well, and then, you know, just like the firefighters said, they said, how bad is it up there that you have to jump? And me being a person that is afraid of heights, I mean, I can go on roller coasters, I can go on airplanes, that doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
But to think about being 80 stories in the air and you have a choice between a wall of jet fuel and an 80-story drop, I couldn't even fathom having to make that decision. And,
No.
you know, and but where we're coming from in the song is he's basically, you know, reflecting on the fact of he didn't know what happened. And yeah, did he find out later? He did. And it actually gave him closure because she made the decision to jump and she was with a coworker and she wasn't alone. That gave
Yeah.
him closure to know she wasn't alone. And I just thought, oh my God, what an amazing story of you're searching through archives on YouTube and you find a picture of your wife jumping from the World Trade Center. It's like, it just blew me away. And then it just totally fit with the song and made sense. And I'm like, we have to do a video. And and
So
then
this was
Sophie
based
did
on
her
a true
parts.
story.
Basically, yeah. People can look it up. I don't even know the exact guy's name. I know I had seen it on a television special, and I know it's a true story, but I
Yeah.
couldn't tell you who. But people can look it up. It's an amazing story. And there's another guy that's still in search of his wife. doing the same thing. And
Could
so
you
people are still
imagine?
going through
Wow.
this. Right. I mean, you know, and
I
we even
can't
put a little
imagine
bit
that.
of today. Yeah, we even put a little bit of today in it. We have a scene where the guy in the video actually is wearing a mask. And I asked my friends, did you catch that? And they're like, well, why is he wearing a mask? It's supposed to be 2001. I said, no, that shot is 2020. And he's still dealing with
Yeah.
his wife died 9/11 and now a pandemic. And so that's
Wow.
the reason I threw that in there.
Wow. I
So I
cannot
hope
wait
everybody
to
can
see
embrace
that.
it and enjoy it. Yeah, I hope they embrace it and enjoy it because it's a really powerful song. And it was
Yeah.
never it was never made or meant to be derogatory towards 9/11 or anything like that.
Right.
That's why I wanted to
Right.
show the world. When I did show the World Trade Center, we show it intact because that's the way I remember it. You
Right.
know, so I don't. You know, everybody knows what happened. We don't have to show it. You
Exactly.
know,
Exactly. And even if you did, not that it would be distasteful, but for people that don't remember it or know anything about,
right,
or if you were alive, you remember it. But for people that don't know anything about it, that they weren't um, alive at that point to know about it,
right,
they might not would understand, and that would probably where negativity would come from.
right. And I don't want anybody using it for that type of purpose.
Exactly.
I mean, kids got to the kids nowadays. They need to learn the history on it. I mean, people freaked out that day. People quit their
Yes.
jobs and moved to other
Yes.
countries. I mean, it didn't just scare the people in New York. It scared everybody. We didn't know what was going on,
Oh yeah, we
but we
went and
dealt with
picked
it.
our kids up from school.
Right, right.
People, work
I
shut
heard
down.
stories of people that packed up everything and left, said we're going somewhere else.
Yeah. Well, and I
But so it
remember,
was,
once it was confirmed what it was, then, businesses were shutting down, sending their employees home. We were going and picking our kids up
right,
from school. If I remember
right,
correctly, I don't think my kids went to school for the next 2 days. Um,
right,
so yeah, it was, and it's crazy how, like you say, the world came together that day. They honestly
right,
came together. And right
right.
now, our world is so divided. It's like, come on, people, let's remember
Well,
that
and I
day
think
and how we all came together. And why can't we do that again?
that's the contrast that I was worried about.
Yeah.
I wasn't so much worried about someone who went through 9/11 being offended because there's really nothing
Right.
to be offended by in the video. But with the divide that we have, the burning of the flags and taking flags down and taking stuff down, and it's like the cancel culture. They want to erase the history, and here we are, making a video about it. And I was more worried about backlash from people who don't understand,
Right.
and
Right.
in the divide country, because it's showing patriotism, really. I mean,
Yeah.
we will never forget. We even say that. I've already given away the whole video, but but you know what
Yeah.
I mean? It's like we make sure to make that statement that we won't forget. We won't. I know how I
Right.
felt that day.
Exactly.
So
Well,
but
I didn't intend to spend so much time talking about the video, but I'm glad that we did. Because I think,
yeah,
one, I think it's important. Two, because
right,
it's releasing tonight. And, it is something that has such an impact on not just people of country music, but all
right,
people of our nation.
right.
And so I think I love that we spent so much time talking on it. I love that.
Well,
Um,
I appreciate the fact that you talked about it because it helps
yeah,
us out with premiering it tonight.
yeah,
So I thought the
absolutely.
time
Yeah, perfect timing. Absolutely. Um, and
right,
I'm definitely going to watch it. So I hope anybody and everybody that has, is watching this interview now or will watch it. I hope everybody tunes in and watches it. So I can't wait to see it. After talking to you about it, I can't wait to see it. I'm super excited. So let's hear another song from you.
Okay. Here, this is a little, since we spent all that time about the video, we'll play an upbeat one.
All right.
Ever since I was created, good Lord had a plan to make me the walking, talking, spitting image of my old man. And now that all is said and done, and I am all that's left, well, I promised myself I would never turn out like a rest, 'cause I can be bad. I can be bad all by myself. Yeah, I can be bad, don't need no help. No, I'm a whiskey drinking, guitar slinging, hell of a time in trouble. Always seem to be a friend of mine. Need nobody's help, I'm bad by myself. Well, they always told me I should change my wicked ways. Well, I just can't settle down, I'll take that for my dying day. The black sheep of the family, doomed to strike out twice. Well, I do just what I want, and I'll do just what I like. 'Cause I can be bad, I can be bad all by myself. I can be bad, don't need no help. No, I'm a whiskey drinking, guitar swinging, hell of a time in trouble. Always seem to be a friend of mine. Need nobody's help, I'm bad by myself. I can be bad all by myself. I can be bad, don't need no help. No, I'm a whiskey drinking, guitar swinging, hell of a time in trouble. Always seem to be a friend of mine. Need nobody's help, I'm bad by myself. I don't need nobody's help, I'm bad by myself. I don't need nobody's help, I'm bad by myself. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Rocking out all by yourself.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. That kind of reminded me of something like Hank Williams Jr. would sing.
Right, or Travis Tritt type of thing. That's right, it reminds me of.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Right. Huge Travis Tritt fan here. Well, and Hank Jr. So giving my age away a little bit there. But yeah, I remember listening to them when Travis first really started out. And I was blessed enough to see him at the Grand Ole Opry.
Oh, man, I'm jealous.
Yeah, that was really cool. That night that I was there, Marty Stewart was there and Travis Tritt. And that's when Travis Tritt was like touring with Marty Stewart. And then the other unknown that was there playing was Faith Hill.
So
that was definitely a night that I will remember forever, seeing Travis Tritt and Faith Hill before they were Travis Tritt and Faith Hill.
But that's what I tell all the indie artists. When I'm in an award show or something, I'll just tell them, hey, I got a picture of you, and when you become famous, guess what? It's going to be worth some money. I tell everybody
Exactly.
that.
Yeah.
Even if I don't win an award, I can go back and say, man, I hung out with this guy before he was famous, or I hung out with this guy before he was famous. Because if you think
Yeah.
about it, a lot of genres of music, a lot of periods in music, there's a lot of bands that grew up together, like in the rock era, you got Motley Crue and Guns N' Roses, and LA Guns and Def Leppard and all these that all made it at the same time. And then,
Yeah.
and I feel like we're kind of the same way. The group that I'm in with Nashville Entertainment Weekly Records, one of them might be the next Janis Joplin. One of them might be the next Elton John, and I can say,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
I was on a label guy.
Yeah.
So I'm rooting for everybody else just as much as I hope they're rooting for me. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And y'all should be, and I'm not saying you're not, but y'all should be definitely rooting for each other, pulling for each other, supporting each other, not in competition with them.
Right.
Unless
Right.
it's a healthy competition. Hey, nothing wrong with a healthy competition. But yeah, there's enough room in country music for a lot of artists. A lot of artists. And everybody's got that something a little different about themselves.
Well, Garth Brooks said it best. He says, we go out on tour all year round and we beat up on each other. And then we come to the awards show and the gloves come off and we pat each other on the back and congratulate each other. And then they get back out on tour and they do it again because you're trying to win over their audience, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm a big advocate for rooting for each other. I'm constantly rooting for other artists, and I love it when just like with me and Sophie, I met her on a podcast. She was 17. She's 21 now. She definitely looks older in the video. And so the thing is just like all the, the other artists, I see them. I may see them at an award show one year and then 3 years later, oh my God, they're a CMA artist, or, they're playing at the Grand Ole Opry. I remember being on a radio station with them, so I'm just as much of a fan of indie artists as, hopefully they are of me or of at least the genre, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, so, absolutely.
Right.
And I think that's, definitely the way that it should be.
Right.
Now, did you come from a musical family, or are you like are you the lone wolf in music?
I'm probably there's like three of us. My cousin Todd plays classical guitar, but he's got his own successful business and he don't really do anything with it. My grandmother and my grandfather both played 6 different instruments.
Oh, wow.
I'm pretty much the only one in the family that took it to this level. So
yeah,
and I'm a multi-instrumentalist too, so I think I inherited that from my grandma. So
yeah, now that's what I was going to ask you next. How many instruments and what are they that you play?
I can play at least 5: guitar, the piano, drums were my main instrument. I'm the bass player now.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, so I play bass, drums, guitar, keyboard, little bit of banjo, and my steel guitar that I ordered. I've never played one before, but I bought one to finally learn. It shows up tomorrow. I just got my confirmation. So,
that's
but in the meantime, cool. I gotta hire one of them cool cats to do it on the record. But I'm gonna learn how. I'm gonna learn how.
Yeah.
And
I think that is a cool instrument.
Oh, it is, and it's hard. It's really complicated to play, from what I understand. So, especially the pedal steel. But I don't have the money for that yet.
Well, I don't play anything, so I am definitely envious of someone that can play multiple instruments along with anybody that can play one, because I play nothing. So, yeah, I'm always fascinated by that.
I tend to drive the band because they'll come over and say, "Did you write anything new?" Yeah, here's the CD. You know, instead of saying, "Hey, listen, I'm working on something," I go ahead and record the drums, the bass, and everything. Oh yeah, here's our new song. You know, so my drummer's like, "When am I playing on?" Oh yeah, I forgot. You're playing. No, I'm kidding. That's one thing. When our last album came out, a lot of it was me. I wrote the majority of the songs. I played the majority of the parts, and the guys kind of came in on the corners. So that's what we're really getting down to now, is getting in the studio together as a band and writing as a band, instead of me handing them, 6 songs that are already half finished going here, so. Well, I'm really looking forward to that. I'm really looking forward to getting in here and writing as a band instead of them guys being a backup for me,
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to it.
Now, you've done it for so much and so long. Are you going to be able to let that go? It's one thing to say it, to actually
right?
do
And
it.
I'll admit it. I'll admit it. It's really easy to get in here and go, well, I want the bass that way. I want the drums that way. And I'll just record it real quick and give it to them, and then they can learn it the way yeah, I'm guilty of that. Definitely. I'll admit it. But no, I'm actually looking forward to letting that go so I can see what comes of it. I'm really looking forward to seeing what, when one voice becomes our voice. So, I'm looking.
Well, and that'll free you up some time to play to learn how to play that steel guitar.
Right. Then I can tell guys we got to change the whole thing because I just learned something.
Yeah. Oh Lord. All right. Well, since your lovely wife has been involved in getting you on this interview, how long have y'all been married?
As a matter of fact, we got married 2 weeks ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've been doing recording sessions and video shoots and all this stuff and trying to get prepared for our wedding all at the same time. And we ended up getting married right out here in the yard. I built a nice pallet wall and everything. We decorated it. It was a country style wedding. Instead of chairs, we had hay bales for everybody to sit on. And so, yeah, as a matter of fact, I told her, I says, we got to make it back from our honeymoon so I have enough time to finish editing the video so I can get it out on September 11th. And she's like, yep, I married a musician. So she's handled she's handled our management for the last 3 years. So she knows the way I am.
Oh, yeah.
But she gives me the freedom to do what right. Yeah, she gives me the freedom to do what I want. So,
yeah. Well, so she's going to be known as a pandemic bride.
Right.
Got married during the pandemic. I know so many people have put off their weddings until next year. And I'm like, nope, that would not have been me. If I was supposed to get married this year, I would have got married if I had to do it by myself. Just me and my husband and somebody to say it.
Right.
Was she the same way?
We invited 150 people, and she's like, I don't care if there's 4 people there. We're getting married.
Yeah.
So, but we ended up having about 75 people. Everybody social distanced and wore their masks. It was good. But
so the kind of wedding you talk about having, that is the best kind of wedding. I mean, me and my husband, we got married at some friends of ours, their lake house, and it ended up being just absolutely beautiful. And then my oldest son, he got married just like you're talking about. They had a country wedding. We sat on hay bales. It was at this farm. It was great. We got to go in our blue jeans and cowboy boots and.
Right. When people showed up, we had bluegrass music playing, and she walked down the aisle to "In Case You Didn't Know" by Brett Young.
Yeah.
So, because that's always been our song. Because she would call me and say, "I just got in the car. Listen to what's on the radio," and it would be on the radio.
Yeah.
And so, of course, she ended up walking down the aisle to that. And then after that, the DJ played Merle Haggard and Willie Nelson and Loretta Lynn all night long. So it was
Oh,
great.
yeah.
You know, it was a pure, and we got a cornfield right next to the house, and the corn's about 7 feet high. So you had these beautiful bushes on one side, and then all the hay bales, and then the corn. So we got married right by the corn. Really, it was pure country. It was really cool. It was really cool. But now the fun's over, and now it's back to work. So, but
now were y'all able to have a honeymoon and be able to go anywhere? And I mean, so many things are like shut down, and not a lot of stuff is open.
Well,
were y'all able to get out and have some fun?
I have to say I'm pretty proud of our state in a way. Everybody's been, doing the social distancing thing, wearing their masks and doing this and that. And we went up north. We ended up going right to Port Huron, and her sister got us a hotel room that the balcony overlooked the Blue Water Bridge going into Canada. So here we're sitting out on our balcony. You can see Canada just right here across the river. And so we spent a couple days there, but we split it up. We spent a couple days in Port Huron for our honeymoon, and then came back home. She worked a couple days. I worked in the studio, and then me and her and my stepdaughter went to Mackinac Island up and spent the 4 days in Mackinac Island. So it was a honeymoon and a family moon. And
that's awesome.
So now she's back to school, and I'm back in the studio, and Tracy's back to work. So,
well, that's awesome. That sounds like it worked out perfectly for y'all and your lifestyle, and you didn't miss a thing. So it worked out
right. Well, and it was a beautiful day. And now we're having crappy weather, but our timing was perfect because we haven't had a sunny day since the wedding.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
Oh,
so it's just been gloomy here. So.
Goodness.
But yeah.
All right. Well, besides the video that debuts tonight,
right.
Do you have new music coming out? Anything that you want to tell the fans about that they can look forward to?
We just released another single off. We just released just before the pandemic, we just released our record.
Okay.
The funny thing was, it took us so long to get our record done that we have 13 songs on the record, and 8 of them have already been on the radio before the record was released.
That's amazing.
And we just released another single off it called Disagree, Agree to Disagree. And it seems to be catching on with people. I don't know if the title coincides with what's going on today, but it's been catching up speed. So yeah, but that's our newest single that we got out. So between the Reflection video and the Agree to Disagree, we've been, and like I said, we're just chomping at the bit to get in here, and we've been writing new stuff. We haven't recorded anything yet, but we've been writing a lot. So come January, February, we should have some new stuff out. And I know we got another music video to do before we move on to the studio, but yeah, so we got a lot of things in the works. Like I said, between the artists that I'm producing and our own stuff, yeah, it's been busy. So
yeah, keeping you busy, keeping you in the studio. Right. Well, when you're
I
not in the studio working, what do you like to do for fun? Are you a fisher? Do you fish? Are you a hunter? What do you like to do for fun outside of music?
I'm not really a fisherman or a hunter, but I like to get out and ride motorcycles. I like to get outside and ride dirt bikes and stuff like that. And I don't know. I mean, I'm such a workaholic when it comes to the music that I rarely, you
Yeah.
have to pull me out the door to give me, you know, she had to drag me up to Mackinac Island, you know, because I wanted to get, all right, honeymoon's over. I got to get back and work on the video, you know, no, you're coming. So, but yeah, I do like, you know, I like to freestyle on BMX bikes on ramps and stuff. I'm still a kid at heart. So I
Oh
like
yeah,
that type of
nothing wrong
stuff.
with that. Now you said
And
motorcycles. Is it all dirt bikes or do you ride street bikes as well?
I like the dirt bikes.
Dirt
I've
bike.
never really been in a, she wants to, I'll probably end up getting one. She wants to get one, but I've never really been into them. I've just been to the dirt bikes.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I can relate
I'm,
to that. We used to have dirt bikes and four-wheelers at our house. I mean, we
right,
had three boys. So, well, my girls
right,
rode too. So my girls were tomboys. They would ride and get just as muddy as the boys. So, yeah,
right,
I know all about that. Yep. Ride the four-wheelers and as dirty as you can get, the better.
right, right.
It seems like how much mud was on you determined how much fun you had.
Oh, well, it depends on how big that mud puddle was that we, you know, that we just gunned it through. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. You
Try
don't
to get
slow down at mud puddles. You go faster.
right, right.
Oh, all right,
So,
Eddie, I have enjoyed this interview so much. I hate that we had so much difficulty getting on, but once we
that's all
did,
right.
we've had
Glad
a
we made it
great
happen.
time. Yeah,
I
I've
appreciate
really
it.
enjoyed it. And I look forward to having you back on with the band. So you're gonna have
Okay,
to talk those guys into doing it for sure.
right. Right.
But what do you want to
Def-
play for us to end our fun interview?
I guess I'll play Simple Things.
All right. I like that title.
Yeah, about the way things used to be. You
I
ready?
like that idea.
Hanging out on Grandpa's farm. Just a couple kids out playing back in the farm. I wish things were the way they were back then. Just chilling by the campfire on a Saturday night. In this two-story town with only one traffic light. Hearing Grandpa talk about way back when. 'Cause we like the same old things, listening to the same old stories. If I had my way, all would just stay the same. It's all the simple things. Picking you up in my old beat-up truck, flying down some dirt roads and kicking up dust. Trying hard just to get that good night kiss. Well, I know things don't stay the same, but it's amazing how quickly they change. It still feels good to go back. 'Cause we like the same old things, listening to the same old stories. If I had my way, all would just stay the same. It's all the simple things that make you want to come home. Simple things, the things I'll never outgrow. From the farmhouse front porch to that old tire swing. I love the simple things. The simple things that make you want to come home. Simple things, the things I'll never outgrow. From the farmhouse front porch to that old time swing. I miss the simple things. All the simple things. All the simple things. Little story about Grandpa.
I love that song.
Thank you.
Love that song.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. So I can just guess what your inspiration was for that song.
Yeah.
But I mean, I imagine it had a lot to do with your grandpa. So when you were little, did you spend a lot of time with him?
Oh yeah.
And that's
yeah.
where that's coming from.
No. Right. Yeah. I mean, I like to write songs about family and good times, and
Yeah.
that songs that make you, Bon Jovi's my mentor, right? He's my hero. And, he said something that stuck with me. He says, when you're 13, you're 14 years old, the world is no bigger than your backyard. He says, so, and that's the way my dad and my grandpa made it for me. It was,
yeah,
my dad made me feel like I could do anything in my yard I wanted to do. I don't care if I'm running the tractor at 2:00 in the morning with the headlights on, it didn't matter. And so that's kind of where that came from is, we need to get back to the simple things in life. I mean, just hanging out at the campfire. It's like now everybody's hanging out at the campfire staring at their phones. It's
right.
So it's like, so yeah, it was just reflected on the good times when we didn't have the internet and we didn't have anything like that to distract us. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
I wish more kids could grow up the way that I grew up, to where you're not hassled with that stuff. You know what I mean?
Exactly. It wasn't, I feel like our parents didn't like have to yell and scream to get us to go outside, because that's all we knew was to go outside and play until dark, or we got, hollered at to come in. The only time we were inside is if it was raining. Sometimes we were still outside if it was raining. That was the best time, as long as it wasn't lightning. But yeah, and now it's like kids would rather be inside on some sort of electronic device.
Something, and it's like when you're sitting next to your parent and both of you are staring at your phones, give them a break for a second, Yeah. I'm a musician. We're all musicians. We're constantly checking Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and whatever else they're on, but there's time to set it down. Nothing is that important. Set it down and come back to life for a minute,
Exactly.
and that's basically what the song is about, is just taking a break from it for a second to, enjoy the simple things in life. Sitting by the fire, talking to your grandpa. I lost my dad in 2009, and he was my biggest fan, and we were polar opposites. And, and I miss him dearly because those were the simple things, just having a conversation with your dad in the garage. He taught me everything I knew about building and construction. And I've been a HVAC technician for 23 years, so I knew, I learned all that stuff from my dad. So, it's just reflecting on the simple things in life. Just take time to enjoy your grandkids or your niece or your daughter or your son, when they're talking to you, set the phone down, listen to what they got to say, you know.
Exactly.
So that, you know,
Because
but
time passes
I'm
fast and it'll be gone.
right. I'm an old school guy, you know,
Yeah.
and so that's just chivalry ain't dead, I guess.
No, it's not, and I'm glad.
Right.
Well, I think that is a perfect song and a perfect note to end this on. That was just fantastic. And
Thank
just
you.
a reminder to everybody, if you are up at midnight tonight, certainly tune in to Eddie's Facebook page to catch his release of Reflection with Sophie Noel.
Right.
I know I am, so I am looking forward to that. And I thank you for coming on. Thank you for being here. Thank Jill for setting it up. And we'll definitely have you back sometime.
I'm looking forward to it anytime. Anytime. Thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank everybody that is currently watching or that will be watching the replay later. We've just had a fantastic time, and thank you for being here. And until next time, which will be tomorrow, I actually have a double going on. That's right. 2 interviews tomorrow. So you are not going to want to miss those. Stay tuned. You can tell I'm done talking. Be sure to tune in tomorrow to watch those interviews. And until then, y'all take care. Have a great night. We'll see you later. Bye.